Good evening. They are the mostly silent neighbors that may be living in your community, living in quiet alleyways or large parks, and sometimes they can be quite a nuisance. In Angus, local neighbors have been caring for a feral cat colony that's been living nearby for almost 10 years. But now the residents are taking the next step in trying to help and control the population. Christina Valachi tells us what they're doing and why.
Don and Marilyn Sherman have owned Sir Halibut's old-style fish and chips here in Angus for 10 years. They're used to feeding the people in their community, but for the last 8 years, they've been feeding another community in the back of their parking lot, a colony of cats.
Well, what happens is that we had a few cats, and we started feeding them because they were hanging around, and just kept multiplying all the time. But they're out there summer and winter, so, you know, it's kind of hard to not feed them. I could let it go in the summertime, but in the wintertime, you know, cats can't find food, but they get so used to me feeding them that I fed them summer and winter. Put a board over here to protect their food because it's dry food in case it rains.
Don buys cat food for the cats and has built a sheltered area for them for the winter.
See how we have an insulated box? Now that is from Furry Friends. Probably cost me about at least $120 a month to feed them dry cat food. But, you know, somebody has to do something.
But Don and Marilyn weren't the only people concerned about the well-being of the 21 cat colony. Neighboring store owners were also concerned about the ongoing issue.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned because there was a lot of them.
Owner of Thrifty Threads, Vicky Schreier, was concerned about the safety of her dog, Katie. She says she was afraid to let her dog out without supervision.
Just them being wild and maybe having rabies, and the raccoons were coming and the foxes were coming, which was attracting other animals.
But one of the most concerned neighbors was Ruth Layden. She lives right behind the Pine River Plaza and had to deal with most of the cats finding home in places around her house, like this back shed.
Well, they sit under my bird feeders and watch for birds. They get into my flower gardens. It's just, they're so messy, you know, with so many. And what can you do with them?
Layden says having that many cats around has made it impossible to do gardening for years.
Because every time you dig up a little spot and there's fresh earth, that's where they are. And also the paths that my son dug me a path down to my bird feeders, and they were using that also for their litter box. You could hardly find a place to walk.
But Don says there was nothing that anybody wanted to do to deal with the cat colony issue. And with no bylaws restricting cat colonies in Essa Township, there was nothing the town would do to deal with the problem.
We tried to get the Humane Society to do something with the cats because cats usually only last 4 or 5 years when they're outside. We couldn't get anything from them. They wouldn't do anything. Essa Township wouldn't do anything. So we just, we adopted them.
That's when a non-for-profit group called Furry Friends decided to step in. Don says Furry Friends has been trapping and fostering all the feral cats over the last month. And now only 3 cats are left in the back of his restaurant. Although seeing them go is hard for Don, he just wants to make sure they're taken care of. And he has one more thing he's doing to help the kitties out.
We gave $1,000.
Yeah.
Plus we have a jar here where people are putting money in it. And we're going to have a Furry Friends Day as soon as the weather gets warmer. We're going to have them down, and we'll donate a proceeds, part of our business. So that'll help too.
I'm here with Marie Aldred from Furry Friends, and she's going to tell us a little bit about feral cat colonies. Now, the ones that were in Angus, why did you guys decide to help them out?
Well, the people called us and told us there was approximately 25 cats eating out the dumpster at the back, which is normal around restaurants and things. So they offered help. They offered to assist us with the spaying and neutering of them if we would help to trap them. Most of the females were pregnant and all the males were unneutered males. So we went down and we took, with 2 trips, we went down and we got them all. There's still 1 more to get. So we went down and all the boys are being neutered this week and all the females are in foster homes who know how to handle feral cats so they can have the babies and then they will be spayed and neutered.
Okay, now is this an issue that happens everywhere in Simcoe County, or is it just that particular area?
No, it's all over. There's stray cats all over town. We estimate Barry's got approximately 5,000 strays living here in town, which are unneutered and unspayed and are breeding, and they're causing all kinds of problems in Barry with people. And we're trying to come up with a solution to assist these people who have all these colonies hanging around the house.
And why does this happen?
It happens because of irresponsible owners who don't spay and neuter the cats. They get them as kittens and then they leave them behind when they move, and then they get thrown out and they turn feral.
And with feral cats, first of all, where are the ones that are from that area that you've helped capture?
The ones from that area are in our trailer. We have trailers that were donated by a local businessman, and we have got them all set up. It's like a little shelter in there, so when they come in, they go in there, they get defleed, dewormed, they get warm and fed, and then we get them spayed and neutered if possible, and we get the shots up to date. And then if they're adoptable, they go over to the animal shelter where we work with them. If they're not, then they will eventually be released, which is not allowed, but there's nothing else we can do for them apart from euthanasia.
Okay, and so how many of these types of cats can you make domesticated? Is it a possibility? Is it hard?
The ones that have been domesticated first, the ones that have been left behind, they do have some human instincts, and they will be tamed. And the girls are fabulous in Furry Friends. They work with them, and we know feral cats. That's how I started. So the ones that are really truly feral, we do release them back into the wild, which is this open to everything by them, but they will be spayed and neutered and they will not be breeding. So nature usually takes its course and things happen to them, but at least they won't be breeding.
Okay, and I see that you have all these trailers here in this area. What are you guys doing next?
We're looking for sponsors to sponsor our trailers, because we have one which is already done and 2 others that are available to us that we can turn into temporary shelters for these cats. We have a large area at the back here, and we're looking for sponsors to get our trailers done so that we can get as many cats off the streets as possible.
Okay, and so can people donate money, or what can all the things that people can do to help you guys out?
People can donate money. That's the thing. We get lots of food and cages and stuff, but it's really the money, because we need to go to places where we can get the supplies to do the shelters up. We have a furnace in the one, a propane furnace, and it works really well. The cats are really nice and warm in there. We're going to put a hydro pole on the property, hopefully, and that's $2,000 to do that. So we are looking for people to help us, animal lovers.
Okay, and because I noticed that one of these trailers, so there's a few of them, and as much as you can get then to help out.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Not at all. Thank you.
Back to you, George.
And here are some facts concerning feral cats. First of all, they can produce between 2 and 10 kittens during any month of the year. They can be active during the day, but more likely they are active at night. Feral cats are territorial and usually remain within 3 to 4 kilometers of the colony. Feral cats are considered to be totally wild after several generations. And a very startling fact just released by the SPCA in the U.S. During an 8-year period, one unspayed female and her mate and all of their offspring, with 2.8 kittens surviving per litter, could result in just over 2 million new cats born in an 8-year period.